everyone. I'm Nido King, and this is Gobliiins 4, a game that's really hard to come by online anymore. I was lucky enough to get it during the short period where it existed. Came out in 2009, about 16 years after Gobliiins 3, but as you can probably see, the aesthetic is back to kind of a 3D remake of the first game. We've got our three characters, each of whom only has a particular set of abilities, and we'll be going one room at a time through this game until we get to the very end of everything. It does fortunately have some of the modern conveniences from the later games, like a multi-item inventory and the ability to control two characters at once. And it's got this nice tutorial screen, which doesn't have anything to do with the main game, but does allow us to explore the characters and what they can do. Oh yeah, that's another nice thing. Still no health bar. Honestly, who ever thought that was a good idea? One downside, even though there is only one version of this game, it doesn't have voice tracks. It's all just the same gobbledygook gibberish that you used to get in the floppy versions. Well, let's see what our last character makes of all the stuff up here on top of the cliff. I think they're not meant to be exactly the same characters from the first game. Those were Bobo, Hooter, and Dwayne. These are Stucco, Perlouis, and Choop! At least that's the only way I can figure to pronounce his name. I think it has to be that high-pitched squeak. So let's go ahead and see what they can do with the objects down on the ground. This gold tooth is going to be critical throughout the game, because it unlocks the bonus area. We certainly don't want to miss that. And there's kind of an annoying thing in this game where multiple characters can talk at a time, and you have to clear one text box in order to get to the next one, but they'll just keep acting in the background. And yes, most of the game is just funny animations. So let's go ahead and toss this turnip in the cauldron. It certainly seems to be what we're intended to do. And then we can light it to make some kind of soup. Ah yes, it's another nice feature of this game. We can run. And I usually try to do that, because why would you want to walk? There's one more thing we can interact with here. Although, actually, there's a sign right up there that I think, yeah, I can click on that. But we'll talk to the dragon first. Today's story is the hunting of the aardvark. Don't worry, that's not just nonsense. It'll make sense eventually. And this game gives us a profile system. So while there are still passwords for every mission, it'll also sometimes save your progress in the profile. Sometimes it'll completely erase the profiles, and you better hope you wrote down the passwords. Fortunately, I have all the passwords written down, so we can get back to any mission at any time we need to. Another interesting thing about this game is that we start with just Choop. We'll have to meet the other two characters as we go along. And he's actually got a personality and a backstory. He's a detective. And let's see what message we've received. I have no idea whether his name is pronounced Balderone or Balder1. But there we go, we've already got our mission. Find those two guys. Which is easier said than done. So looking around the room, there are a couple of things that we're going to need to pick up and take with us. Such as this magnifying glass. And a spoon. And there's the gold tooth. Yep, we'll be collecting those throughout the game. So there's the big mission here. We've got to find where our friends are located. Yeah, the bird's not going to be any help until we give him payment, and we've got nothing here that would constitute payment. So we'll just pick a flower from the window, and we'll offer this to the bird as his tip. No, the bird doesn't want a flower. There is one hidden thing in this case. Yeah, I would call a lot of this game pixel hunting, but that would imply that there are pixels to hunt. A lot of the things we've got to find are not visible on the screen. So randomly moving the cursor around is going to be important. And now he offers to be further assistance, but he's not actually going to render any assistance just for us asking. We've got to figure out what it is that we need from him. In the meantime, we'll go present this flower more artfully. Which causes a tiny, tiny pixel to jump out of it. We can't interact with that pixel unless we can see it, so that's where the magnifying glass is important. It's Kisu, probably a relative of Bizu. And we need to talk to her again in order to get any actual information. This also is going to become a nasty trend in the game. So we finally know where Stucco is, which is enough to get started with. But we need to feed the plant first. Well, it's a vegetarian plant, and we've got a jar of vegetables right over here. Which we're not strong enough to open, so we'll pry it open with a spoon. Because that's how jars work. So it's a jar with 5 pickles in it, but one of them is now hidden behind the jar where we can't get it, and the freaking bird ate another one. No, he won't consider that a tip if we hadn't given him the bone. But we will at least pick up the 3 that remain. They're gherkins, and believe it or not, I went out and bought a jar of gherkins just so that I could try them for the sake of having eaten gherkins by the time I got around to doing this commentary. They're alright, certainly not my favorite pickle. Gotta say I prefer dills, but gherkins are pretty good, fairly sour. And now the plant should be happy. That's all the food we've got. Nope, it needs more food. Now, to find more food, we have to have looked around the office quite a bit and spotted this picture on the wall over here. Yeah, that's Cousin Baldy who grows carrots. So, once we know that we need a carrot, and we've looked at the picture of Cousin Baldy, we can ask him for a carrot. I'd say most of the logic in this game really doesn't make a whole lot of sense and is very unintuitive. And that's if you can spot all the tiny objects you need to click on. But just like Owlpost, the bird comes back very quickly with our carrot that still has an address label on it. And the plant really isn't going to care. He'll eat it, paper and all. That's right, we can get gone now. And I'm going to do that before we have to endure that bird singing again. As a matter of fact, I think they purposefully designed all of the idle animations in this game to be as annoying as possible. Maybe to incentivize you to hurry up and get through these rooms. Just so you don't have to listen to any more of it. But we're on to the second room, where we're going to meet up with Stucco and help Berthus the Goblin move. So let's talk to the homeowner first, find out what he wants. And we've got a step ladder. This is going to function kind of like the coin in the last game, in that it's always going to be there in our inventory. He really doesn't seem to care about the health of his kid. So first we'll pick up the obvious items lying around. The plank is going to be very important, and there's the tooth way off in the background. I think that is just a single pixel. While Choop is off getting the tooth, we're going to send Stucco up to start the actual process of moving the furniture out of the house. And we really just gotta shove it all down the stairs and into the cart. And let's get Choop to help. We'll do the job twice as quickly with two of us, I'm sure. Especially since we can both act at the same time. Now, all the furniture on the upstairs is too heavy for Choop to move on his own. So Stucco's got to do it. Fortunately, they can move and shove objects right through each other. Okay, that's not how physics works. And for whatever reason, he just can't shove that wardrobe down the final stretch. So it is time to give him a hand. There we go. Now all the big stuff is loaded. We can head back up, but we've solved a puzzle. I'm sure there won't be anything else. So now it's time to collect all the little things around the house. And then there's that middle landing there that leads to the lower floor, but there's no ladder leading there. So we're going to need to pull out our portable stepladder. Wherever there's a flat area, you can be pretty sure you need to put the stepladder on it. And of course, we'll always need Stucco's help to move the handle. That's never going to get old. Alright, so there's nothing on the middle floor that Stucco needs to handle. It's all going to be up to Choop to get the stuff. Yeah, we need this bottle. And we need to grab one of the flowers. He's not moving that, that's just for our purposes. And let's see what items he has in the lower floor. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's funny, but you realize that we did just break the vase that you asked us to help move. Yeah, we need to repair that. So there's a pool of resin over here, and we've got a little jar for it. And fortunately, it's sticky resin, of course, this being an adventure game. And we'll be able to repair that vase like it wasn't even broken. He'll never know the difference, even though it smashed on the ground right in front of his eyes. Okay then, we'll just turn over the rest of the stuff that we brought down. Except for the pot, because for whatever reason he doesn't want that back. And now I think we're done. However, we're always going to need to bring with us the stuff that's important, such as the stepladder. And we need to make sure to click on the ladder, not the handle, or he'll just uselessly pull at the handle again. We don't need to bring the plank with us. I mean, we really don't. But he's now going to give us a very useful message. What we actually need to do is talk to the turtle on whose back the house is built. But we can't get her attention from way over here, so we need to use the plank to cross over to where she can actually see us. And she's not paying attention to the fly. Oh, that's so cute. They're each setting the other free. Yeah, that's what we needed. We needed to get the information about where Père Louis is. Apparently, even though these guys are such great friends, they travel together on orders of the king, they don't know where they are. And we can't leave until we've given Ursula a tip. I'm kind of surprised she doesn't withhold the information about Père Louis' whereabouts until we've given her the flower, but... adventure game logic. And now we can move on. We just have to have each individual character go to the next screen. And we'll finally meet up with our third character and have a full party. So there's our mission for this screen. We just need to get the crown of King Taller 8. And as always, there are things we're going to need to pick up. Like a mushroom. No, just kidding, we can't pick up the mushroom. But as this is the screen that introduces Perluis, we're going to have a lot of things to cast magic on. Not that the mushroom is really going to do anything for us. I'm sure that's a reference to some French film character or something. I, unfortunately, don't recognize it. Hey, look, there's even a plaque in the screen that tells us again what we need to do. Yeah, I don't think we need to worry too much about Grand Steward Gallants. This screen might have the highest proportion of completely useless stuff in it. Yeah, there's really no purpose to any of the stuff that I've been messing with so far. We just need to head upstairs. But the ladder is missing a rung, which is conveniently just on the far side of the screen. Well, that was a tough puzzle. Now we can get up to where the dragon actually is. And collect some of the bones that are lying around. There's an important one. Jawbone connected to the rib bone, and the wedge bone connected to the pillar. Oh, we're gonna need some help getting that one out. Quit your dancing and get up there, stucco. So those are the bones we need to finish this pile of bones on the ground. Because we can animate it, but it's not quite a full skeleton yet. So remembering the identical puzzle from The Dig, one of those LucasArts games that I think I got most of the way through, but there was one puzzle I couldn't solve, and that sent me back a long way. We just need to build the skeleton, and in this case, he just kind of throws the bones in the right places. Much simpler. And it spits out a seed. This is another puzzle we're going to see many, many times. Oh, there's an inscription. Well, let's see what it says. Okay, telling us that King Taller was here and fought the dragon. We knew that. There are also skulls on the wall. They don't really do a whole lot, because they're missing their jawbones. But if we attach the jawbones, we can actually get some information out of them. So the crown is stuck in the dragon's throat, which it doesn't have anymore because it's just bones. But we'll get there eventually. This puzzle we're going to have to do many times. Plant the seed in the soft earth where the grass is, and then make it grow with magic. Certainly nothing new to the series, but this game is going to do it a bunch of times. So we grow a flower, which we can't climb. But if you remember the first game, Stucco is able to climb up thin objects that the other two can only slide down. And once he gets up here, he can do something with the dragon. Namely, cause its tail to become a catapult. And that's how the other two characters will get up there. And now we can grab jawbone number 2. And the tooth, which is actually slightly bigger on this screen than it was on the last. There's also a third jawbone hidden in the wall here. But we'll actually need to punch that one free. I guess when you've only got one solution, you do tend to see the same problem come up again and again. But it's not really a thought exercise once you've seen it once. Let's go ahead and see what the skull says with the second jawbone. Yes, it makes sense that having swallowed the crown, we need to get the dragon to cough it up. But we need all 3 jawbones to get the solution. An irritating plant pushing up under the moonstone, which is over here. We could not do anything with this stone until we got the message pointing us to it. So we lift the stone with magic and then grab the plant. Unfortunately, we need to hold the rock up because it will always come down on our hand. So we just borrow the rung from the ladder, prop up the rock, grab the plant, and then grab the rung back so that we can fix the ladder again. It's not difficult, but at least it is kinda clever. And now we give the irritating plant to the dragon. Yeah, we do actually still need to make it cough up the crown. And the thing is, we could use magic on it sooner, and it would cough, but it doesn't cough up the crown until we've given it the irritant as well. So I just have to bring Choop back up to the top so that he can actually grab the crown. And once again, having completed the objective, we just have to get everybody to leave, which does some weird things with the animation. If one of them starts to climb a ladder that another is already climbing, he just kind of warps to the bottom of it, which is weird. But oh well. We're now together, and it's time to go visit the king and see what it is he actually wants. And yeah, you'd think that having been summoned, the king would kind of open the castle for us, but no, we're going to have to puzzle our way in. Just like everything else in this game. So join me when we do that next time.